Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to another GameMaker tutorial. This tutorial is going to be about using audio in GameMaker because I haven't done that. I did the Ludum Dare last weekend, and I was putting audio in my game, and I realized that I've never even taught you guys how to do audio really. So I'm going to teach you guys some of the basics of using audio in GameMaker. And we're going to use GameMaker's new audio functions because they've been updated, and I think we're using the most up-to-date ones now. So it seems to me like they've updated them 2 times, I think. I'm not sure. Regardless, I think this is the most recent version of audio. So first things we're going to do is come to this website, bfxr.net, and this is just a website that we can use to get some sound. So I'm gonna click the randomize button here, and that's not a good sound. That's not either. Hopefully this isn't super loud for you guys. That's kind of an interesting one. It's a little weird though. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Okay, so I just got a random sound here. I'm gonna export to WAV, save it to the desktop, and we'll just call this tutorial sound. Okay. And you can use this website to get different sounds. Usually what I do is I end up getting several sounds and combining them together to make one sound. It's a good way of doing it. Or you can just go get your own free sounds. You can search and find free sounds that are available. Quite a few out there just request that you give credit, but don't actually require you to pay anything. So you can find those. But you can also use this website to make your own. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to create a sprite. We'll just call this Sprite button. And edit it 32 by 32. That looks good. Just going to make it black. This is literally, we're just going to use that to click on. So let's create a new room. Room sound. And I'm going to make this 640 by 360. Okay. And I'm going to create a new object up here, and we'll call this object button. We'll grab the sprite right there, and we're going to put this object in the room right there. Is that centered? I think that's centered. Yeah, it's close enough. It might be one high. I don't know. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new sound, and that's this little icon right here. We'll call this sound click. It doesn't sound like a click, but that's okay. And we'll open it up, go to desktop, and download tutorial sound, or open, sorry, SND click, and I'm going to do stereo. Doesn't really matter, but you can see we can play the sound right there and stop it right there. So we'll press OK, and then we'll come into our object, and the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is just play the sound. So we're going to add a mouse event. We're going to add a left pressed event. So when we click on the button, it's going to play the sound. So we'll write in here, play the sound. And the function is audio, play sound, and that's it. And then we pass in the sound ID, which is going to be SND click, sound click. We pass in the priority. I'm just going to do priority of 10, and we tell it whether or not to loop the sound, and we want to set this to false. We don't want it to loop the sound. If you look at this in the help file, you can see that the priority is any real number. It can be from 0 to 1 or 0 to 100, as GameMaker Studio will prioritize them the same. The final argument for making the sound loop and setting it to true. Okay, so lower priority sounds will be stopped in favor of higher priority sounds. So basically, if we have another sound that has a priority of 9 and both the sounds try and play at the same time, and GameMaker can't play both of them at the same time for whatever reason, it's going to choose the sound that has a higher priority. So this one's got a priority of 10. That's I don't know, it's a fairly high priority, depending on the range that you decide, right? It said you could do 0 to 1 or 0 to 100, whichever, or you could do 0 to 10. So that will play the sound, and let's go and actually run our game. Oh, I've got it set to Mac. We need to set it to Windows. I was trying to set up Mac, the Mac module, but I need to have a Mac, and I don't have one right now. So as you can see, when I click on it, it plays the sound, which is really cool. But often when you have a sound that plays over and over and over again in a game, the sound can start to get annoying and sound really repetitive. So let's say this is a laser sound, you know, that plays every time we shoot a laser, because it kind of sounds like that. It's going to start to get annoying. So there's a trick that you can do to help with that. And what that is you change the pitch of the sound, which is going to make it sound just a little bit higher or a little bit lower. And it helps the sound to, you can use one sound, but have it sound like several sounds a little bit. So let me show you, and I'm going to do this kind of in a drastic way. You might not want to do it this drastic, but I just want to make sure you can hear the difference in pitch. Now, in order to do that, we have to create an emitter. So a sound emitter controls the settings that a sound is played in. So you create an emitter, and you set up all the settings for that emitter, and then you play a sound, and the sound will play depending on whatever settings you have in that emitter. And I'll show you how to do this. So let's add a create event, and we'll call this create the sound emitter, and we do audio emitter create. Okay, and we need to store this into a variable, so we're going to call this audio em. So that stands for audio emitter. So audio emitter create. Now let's add another event. We're going to add a other game end event, and we need to destroy the emitter. So destroy the emitter. And unfortunately, I feel like this function was named a little weird, because most of the time when you create something, you use destroy to destroy it. But this one is audio emitter free, which destroys it, I guess. So audio emitter, or audio em, which is the emitter we did. Okay, so now whenever we whenever we press the left mouse button, we want to change the settings on our emitter. So we're going to do audio emitter pitch right here. You can also do gain, which changes how loud or soft the sound is, but we're just going to do audio emitter pitch. Okay, and we're going to do audio em, and the pitch we're going to do choose. So we're going to have it, oh no, sorry, we want to do random range, and the pitch is generally a value like a 1 is the normal pitch. That's what it is at normally. So we're going to do a pitch from 0.5 to 1.5, which is really a drastic change. Oh, we need another parentheses there. So our pitch is going to be a random number from 0.5 to 1.5. And remember, a normal pitch is 1. So this is going to be quite a change, and normally I would do something more like 0.8 and 1.2 ish. This might be pretty drastic. We also need to change how our sound plays. So it's audio play sound underscore on, and that basically just tells it to play the sound on the emitter that we created. And the first argument is the emitter, so audio emitter. The second argument is the sound ID, which we have. The third argument, this is unfortunate to me, but these last two arguments are swapped. So you remember on the other one, this argument was the priority, and this one was the whether or not it loops. But you can see down here they've swapped them. So we're going to do false here for loops. Oops. And 10 here for the priority. So we have to swap those two. It's kind of a little bit annoying, but it's fine. It works. So let's play the game and see if we can hear a difference in the sound each time we click it. And hopefully you can hear that. That one sounded pretty low. That one's pretty high. And you can hear the difference in them. So that's a really neat trick you can use to just make your laser sound or whatever sound a little bit different. In my game Death Touch, I did that with the dashing sound because I didn't want the dashing sound to, I mean, you dash a lot or the teleport sound. You teleport a lot in that game. And so if the teleport sound was the same every single time, it would get annoying. So I made it pretty soft, and then I made it alter the pitch so it sounds a little bit different every single time you teleport. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Be sure and like, favorite, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Share this video on Twitter if you found it useful. And I will talk to you guys later.